Hey guys, this is Patrick with Patch Tech Review, and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Microsoft asking AMD for help in combating the shortages of Xbox Series X's and S's. Also, a surprise exclusive is coming to Xbox and its Game Pass in 2021. And lastly, PS5 versus Xbox Series X and S versus Nintendo Switch sales comparisons through week 6 from their release dates. So stick with me, let's go. All right, you guys, first off, I want to start off with Microsoft asking AMD for help in combating Xbox Series X stock shortages. If you guys don't know, AMD is a processor company that actually makes a processor that goes inside of the Xbox Series X, but they also make the processor that goes inside of the PlayStation 5 as well. And also, they have their own arm of processors where they make GPUs and also CPUs for computers. So you can imagine that they may be pretty strained as far as producing all these different processors for all of these different vendors. But Microsoft has reached out to AMD because they want to increase the amount of Xboxes that they're putting out. First off, this thing starts off by saying they expect stock shortages to carry out until at least April of 2021. Of course, when new generation console launches, you expect there to be shortages because you expect people to want them. There were a lot of problems with scalpers with these particular systems. So, of course, even with that, I was able to get my hands on one, but I had to be really quick. There's more demand for PlayStation 5, of course, but even with that, the Xbox Series X was still selling out really, really crazily. In Major Nelson's podcast, he was actually talking to the boss of Xbox, Phil Spencer, and he pretty much assured him that the stock will increase in the future because it's only going to increase if AMD increases the amount of processors that they are able to create. And he even goes on to say that he was on the phone with Lisa Su at AMD, who was, she's head of AMD lady, and he was asking, how do we get more? So it's something that they are constantly working on, according to them. And this goes on to say that AMD manufactures the GPUs and CPUs for both the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, with the console's custom designed processor made up of an 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU and an RDNA class GPU. So it says by AMD increasing the production of these chips, more consoles, in theory, could be manufactured by Microsoft. I like the fact that they say in theory could be Microsoft, could be made by Microsoft. That is weird. I mean, it's not weird, but that's how they talk. So each system is in really tight supply, as I know, because it was so hard to even get them. And again, AMD and Nvidia graphics cards, they're in a shortage too. So they're actually talking about not having those particular graphics cards to be fully in stock until February. I like to call these things paper launches. It launches on paper, but you can never really find one because bots snatch them up. And another issue that AMD and Nvidia are having is the type of memory, GDDR6 memory that they have. That's not being produced as quickly as it needs to be produced in order for them to make these processors and chips to go into these next-gen consoles. So if you're looking at getting an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 in the near future, I believe that your chances will be going up, especially coming into this new year. Of course, stock shortages for AMD should start to diminish, and the processors for those particular systems should be able to be made. And also, scalpers are getting out of the game because if you look on StockX, a lot of those systems, the prices are tanking right now on StockX. So so Xbox reaching out to AMD. Hey, we need processors. The next thing that I want to touch on is an exclusive that is going to be on Xbox Series X. Stalker 2 will be on Xbox Series X and PC this year. Man, this is crazy. If you guys don't know what Stalker is, if you've ever played like Metro, this is almost like Metro. In fact, this game inspired Metro. The original Stalker inspired the Metro franchise and the Metro game as far as the gameplay and such. I mean, it's a good game. So in yesterday's video, I talked about Microsoft buying Bethesda game studios, but it's actually Microsoft bought ZeniMax game studios. So ZeniMax is actually a collection of game studios that Microsoft obviously bought. when you think about this is kind of absurd. $7 billion. I was trying to figure out why was it $7 billion, but now I understand why it's $7 billion. Bethesda Game Studios had Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout Shelter, Skyrim VR. Then ZeniMax did Elder Scrolls Online, and then ID Software does Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, Quake. Then Arcane Studios does Dishonored 2, Prey, Dishonored, and then you have Machine Games with the Wolfenstein, the New Order, and then Tango Gameworks, the Album Within, The Consequence, The Executioner. I'll be honest, I don't know anything about those particular games. Then Alpha Dog and Roundhouse Studios to round out, no pun intended, all of the studios that Microsoft ended up snatching up. So I digress. Stalker 2, if you're familiar with Metro or any of those types of games, it kind of falls into that same kind of category of gaming. Lots of people on PlayStation was expecting this, and I kind of didn't think this was going to happen, but it has to be true. It's so true, because the official trailer that came out, actually says this, and there's just a little bit of gameplay within the trailer, not a lot. So we can actually take a look at what it's going to look like. Okay, there's some, see some ray tracing going on. I don't know if that's rendered in or if that's actual ray tracing going on. So this is what confirmed it for me. Down here in the corner, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. No mention of PlayStation whatsoever. Remember when I said that hopefully when these exclusives start to turn out, that this will make Xbox Game Pass so much more worth it? I feel like it's happening. It's going to happen, because Xbox has put in too much capital for these particular brands to not do anything with them. So hopefully this does turn out to be something great. Lastly, I want to dig into some comparisons as far as sales numbers are concerned for the PS5, for the Xbox Series X and S, and also for the Switch. Their launch sales through week 6. So the systems have been out for at least 6 weeks. So we want to take out a look at the numbers. So if you take a look at worldwide sales through week 6, this is for the entire world, we can see that PlayStation sold just over 4 million systems. Switch sold about almost 2.5, and Xbox Series X and S sold 2.2. Now remember, Switch did come out a couple of years back, so these numbers are not from this past whatever, it's when it actually released. So I do want to make that clear. So PlayStation holds a pretty firm lead over Xbox as far as worldwide sales are concerned, because we all know that PlayStation is more of a worldwide type of gaming system. It's more popular worldwide. So then we take a look at the USA sales through week 6, and we can see, PlayStation, that blue line is going on up, and Xbox Series X and S, nice little trend line. But it did do better than Nintendo Switch when it first came out in US. But if anybody owns a business, you understand that you want to kind of control the entire market. Europe sales, of course, Xbox is on the bottom, Nintendo Switch is right above that, and then PlayStation 5 is still shooting up to the top. And this is really crazy to me. I didn't realize how not popular Xbox was in Japan. As you can see, Nintendo Switch is the dominant gaming console in Japan. And Sony is Japanese, so Nintendo's Japanese as well. But I guess they like to have their handheld games and be able to move around a game. They only sold 32,000. I mean, that's abysmal. Those are abysmal numbers. Oh my goodness, man. Can you imagine if you own a company and you were competing against other video game companies, and they came out with these systems, and your system is like at the bottom, like real bad at the bottom? I mean, worldwide comparison, Xbox is kind of holding their own worldwide. I do expect them to do a little bit better in the future as these exclusives start to turn out. Whenever they do turn out, I think that Xbox will have more sales. And that's what we really want. We really want to have Xbox to have more exclusives. And I say that, I don't want to say that selfishly because I own an Xbox Series X, but these exclusives better start turning out. Hopefully you all enjoyed the content today. We talked about some Xbox news again today, so hopefully you guys did like that content. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Again, I'm trying out different formats. This is another format that I've kind of settled on for right now. Of course, I'm going to be doing different types of reviews of different things, so this particular format will not work. So if you guys have any suggestions, please leave a comment down below. And again, this is Patrick with Pat's Tech Review. Peace!